The day my CTO laughed at me, he thought he was shutting down a salary negotiation. He had no idea he was triggering a corporate disaster that would cost millions, terrify investors, and leave executives scrambling to save the company they believed was unstoppable. For 6 years, I built the technology behind their success. I missed birthdays, worked weekends, and solved problems nobody else could solve. Then I asked for a raise. The response I received changed everything. 6 months later, the same executives who called me replaceable were desperately searching for a way to stop the tsunami they had created. Emily Carter joined a small software startup when it was barely surviving. There were only a handful of employees, limited funding, and a dream of building something revolutionary. Emily believed in that dream. While others worked normal hours, she stayed late fixing critical bugs. When major clients threatened to leave, she designed solutions that kept contracts alive. Over 6 years, she became the architect behind the optimization system that made the company's products faster, smarter, and more profitable than competitors. Investors praised management. Executives received bonuses. The company expanded into new markets. But Emily's salary barely changed. Every time she requested a compensation review, management thanked her for her loyalty and promised future opportunities that never arrived. As the company grew into a multi-million-dollar business, luxury cars appeared in executive parking spaces. Leadership teams doubled. New offices opened across the country. Yet Emily kept hearing the same excuse. There isn't room in the budget. Eventually, she reached her breaking point. She spent days preparing performance reports showing how her innovations increased revenue, reduced costs, and improved customer retention. Confident the evidence would speak for itself, she scheduled a meeting with the CTO. What happened next shocked her. The CTO barely glanced at her presentation. Then he laughed. Not a polite laugh, a dismissive laugh. He leaned back in his chair and said, "Every engineer thinks they're irreplaceable." Then came the sentence Emily would never forget. "If you leave, we'll replace you before lunch." The meeting lasted less than 10 minutes. Emily walked out humiliated. But instead of quitting immediately, she started reviewing projects she had developed independently over the years. One project stood out: an advanced optimization framework she had created entirely on her own time, using her own equipment. After consulting intellectual property attorneys, Emily received confirmation. The framework legally belonged to her. Everything changed. A few months later, one of the company's largest competitors learned about the technology. Unlike her employer, they recognized its value immediately. Their executives listened carefully. Market analysts praised the competitor's innovation while questioning why Emily's former employer suddenly seemed years behind. Then the story became public. Industry journalists uncovered the truth about the engineer who had built enormous value, been denied fair compensation, and eventually licensed breakthrough technology to a rival company. The story spread rapidly. Investors were furious. Shareholders demanded explanations. Major clients began exploring alternatives. Recruiting top talent became nearly impossible. Inside the company, morale collapsed. The executive team finally realized the employee they mocked was never replaceable. 1 year after the disastrous meeting, Emily received a message from senior leadership requesting a private discussion. The tone was completely different. No laughter, no arrogance, no lectures about loyalty. They wanted partnerships, consulting agreements, solutions. Emily declined, not because she wanted revenge, because she finally understood something important. The people who truly value your work never need to be convinced of your worth. Over the following year, several executives were replaced, including the CTO, whose laughter started everything. Business analysts later described the incident as one of the most expensive talent management failures in company history. Looking back, Emily realized the company's biggest mistake wasn't refusing her raise. Their biggest mistake was believing she had nowhere else to go. The day the CTO laughed, he thought he had won. In reality, that was the day the tsunami began. When people underestimate your value, they often think they're saving money. What they don't realize is that disrespect comes with a cost. And sometimes that cost becomes far greater than the raise they refuse to pay.